Trucking memoirs, working from memory. A lot of you have heard all this, but there are some people who haven't. But first of all, doing a crossword, the question, very intelligent person. Well, that was easy. I thought to myself, genius. But anyway, working from memory, down in Somerset, the boss bought me a brand new Scania. I came off the old bangers. I thought, lovely. So I got back in the yard one Friday afternoon a bit early with a load of South Wales coal for the cement works at Plymouth to deliver on the Monday. And I was a bit early, so the boss's daughter, we were running the job, she says, oh, Arthur, take that lorry over there, put some stone on and take it down to this local customer. Don't be long because they're waiting for it. I says, well, that bloody old thing. Oh, come on, do me a favour. So I got in this old truck, Guy, G-U-Y, gears all over the place, steering all over the place, left our yard, turned left and immediately entered the quarry, climbed up the side of the Mendip Hills, past the two-way bridges, up to the top, put 20 tonne of stone on it, and the weight of the truck, it was just over 30 tonne. Came back down the hill and the brakes failed. Foot down to the floorboard. And picking up speed in a low gear, the engine howling. I put the lights on, the sound of the horn, and everybody ran. Well, in the event of that happening, they put a sandpit in between the two weigh bridges, and I steered it into the sandpit, and of course it sunk. I didn't have to jump out of the cab. I stepped out, and you know, feeling a little shaken, tottered back to our yard and said to Amanda, the brakes failed. I've had to put it in the sandpit. Oh dear Arthur, the customer's waiting for that load. Did you have to put it in the sandpit? I says, well, no, I could have come round. I'd have gone past the yard doing about 90 miles an hour. And next morning, the boss weren't happy because he had to get a big caterpillar to come down from the quarry and pull it out and get it back to our yard. He said that was the right performance yesterday, weren't it? I says, yeah, it was, mate. What happened? I says, brakes failed. Well, didn't you see the warning light? Didn't work, mate. Well, didn't you hear the warning buzzer? Didn't work, mate. Well, the actuators, when the air pressure goes down, it locks the brakes on. I said, it didn't work, mate. Bloody performance. I've got to pay for that cat coming down. I said, what the fucking hell was I supposed to do, mate? Best thing you do is put anchor in there. Next time we're down, I'll throw the fucking anchor out. That's it, I'm off home. Just a minute, I said, I've had enough of this blaming me for something that weren't my fault. Just a minute, calm down. Even though he bought me a brand new Scania, he could never get drivers because it was a bit of a cowboy outfit. But moving on, the long distance work dried up and all the big articulated vehicles, I used to run at 44 tonne, and he put us all on local work to this local customer. And he said, you've got to do about 8 loads a day, otherwise the job won't pay. Starting in the morning, it's only a short run, you should get 8 loads a day in. So on the Monday morning, we all turned up at this customer, nowhere to tip the stone. And we spent all morning hanging about in the cafe, taking a piss out of Simple Huey, and he loved it because he was getting the attention he craved, and drinking tea and coffee, you know, we had a great time. And about midday, Big Geordie, they made room for him and he tipped the load and went back up into the quarry, passing our yard as he went in the quarry. He put a second load on and came out, and the boss Mick stopped him. Hello, Geordie, how many loads have you done? Geordie said, 1. 1? Geordie says, yeah. 1? He was jumping up and down with rage, his wig bouncing up and down. 1? Geordie says, yeah, nowhere to tip me. And the boss said to Geordie, well, I've been talking to the boss down there, Richard. He said Geordie don't want to know. He sits in his cab, idling his time away. Geordie says, what, he said that about me? Mick said, yes, he did. And Geordie says, right, I'll sort that cunt out. And he drove off, left Mick standing in the middle of the road. Mick shouted, don't you say a word to him, because it was a lie, wasn't it? So he sent the rep down in the car with strict instructions, don't let Geordie go in that office. So there's Geordie driving down one section of the M5, steam blowing out of his nostrils, and the rep went hurtling past in the car. And at the customer, Geordie pulled up, put the parking brake on, jumped out of the cab and marched over to the office. And the rep put his hand up, he says, Mick says you haven't got to go in there. Geordie said, get out my fucking way or I'll flatten you. And he shoved him out of the way and went in shouting and bawling at Richard, the boss. And Richard says, Geordie, calm down, mate. I haven't spoke to Mick today. He's lying to you. So Geordie tipped his second load off and hurtled back and stopped outside our yard before going into the quarry, marched into the office, and Amanda sat there. "Where is he?" She says. "He's had to go out." Yeah, he went out Geordie's way. And then he decided to buy this Portakabin for our drivers instead of hanging around the office. Large Portakabin. He gave the job to Mad Dog Dennis, banned from all the pubs down there for fighting. Evil temper. His eyes bulged and his head went forward, and we used to say, "Hey, be careful, Dennis is in the temper." And they put it on this flat trailer, and leading up to our yard and the quarry was a narrow lane with all posh houses and overhanging trees, very picturesque. And Dennis got the trailer stuck with this large Portakabin. I wasn't there, but Geordie told me. He said, "Honestly, Arthur, I pissed myself laughing. Dennis in a temper was on back of the trailer like King Kong, tearing branches off these trees and hurling them into these beautiful gardens." And a lady came out and complained bitterly, and Dennis told her to fuck off, and she ran back indoors in tears. And her husband came out. "How dare you speak to my wife like that?" And Dennis threw a branch at him and told him to fuck off. And there's Geordie. He said, "I literally was almost pissing myself off." Dennis was shouting and bawling because all the other people from the houses came out, and Dennis's voice was echoing up and down the lane. "When I get my hands on Mick, I'll wring his fucking neck." And he did eventually get it up to the yard after damaging more trees and knocking walls down, and the boss and his wife had to go back down the lane to apologise to the enraged residents and offer compensation. But moving on, I've got to watch it. I had an old F88 Volvo K415, what was it? BBC 415K, that's right, I remember the registration. And I got back from South Wales into the yard to refuel, and the head gasket had gone and it was losing water, and the fitter said, "You better let somebody else take that load down." And Mick says, "Oh no, Arthur will be alright, just keep stopping and putting water in." And I says, "Oh my God." So I managed to get down to Plymouth after stopping at all the service areas and filling stations, and I got down to the cement works and phoned Mick, because we hadn't got mobiles then. I said, "I managed to get down to Plymouth, Mick." I thought he'd say, "Oh, well done, Arthur. You better bring it back and Jim will fix the head gasket." Oh no, he said, "Run down to Falmouth in Cornwall." I thought, oh my God. "Put a load of fish on out the trawlers and take it up to Aberdeen." I says, "Where?" He said, "Aberdeen in Scotland." I says, "What, in this fucking old banger?" He says, "What do you mean fucking old banger?" I said, "Well, it is. I'll be lucky to get back to Cheddar with it. Never mind Aberdeen." He says, "Oh, you'll be alright, just go up steady." From Falmouth in Cornwall up to Aberdeen in Scotland, just go up steady. So, once again, calling in all the service areas to put water in it, I managed to get to Shapfell in Cumbria on the M6 and a piston blew. So now these old aluminium trailers carrying scrap metal, it punctured them, and they were like a colander. When they put the fish in off the trawlers, seawater was running out, and they wouldn't let us use the weighbridge. And once all the water had drained out all the little holes, the fish compressed, and thick, red, sticky, smelly blood was running out the back of the trailers and from all the holes in the trailers. And all the service areas got signs out, "No fish lorries." So I got up to Shapfell, the piston gone, bang, 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 and I pulled in the service area at Shapfell. And eventually service area manager came out. "Get this vehicle off the service area now." I said, "I can't, piston's blown." "What?" I said, "The piston's blown, I can't move it." He says, "Well, there's all blood coming out the back." I said, "Is it?" He said, "I can't have this. It's intolerable. All the cars are running through it." I said, "Oh dear. I'm going to call the police." I said, "Yeah, go on then." And the police came. I said, "I'm sorry, mate." I said, "The piston's blown. I can't do anything about it. A fitter's coming out to put a new piston in it." The service area manager said, "Where's it coming from?" I said, "Cheddar in Somerset." "What? It'll be all day." I said, "Yeah, great." I can get my head down and have a kit, and the police officers were giggling. And in the event, the fitty didn't come out because they sent, well, Mad Dog Dennis, he'd already been up to Aberdeen, and he came back down the M6 and swapped trailers. Of course, he saw me, he says, I might have fucking guessed it were you. I said, don't start on me, it weren't my fault, Mick shouldn't have set this bloody thing up here. And Dennis says, oh, that cunt. I apologise for the language, but I have to say it like it is. And there's lots more happened down there. Oh yeah, in the new Scania I put a load on, and of course I wouldn't let us use the weighbridge, and of course I knew it was grossly overloaded, and it had got 6 axles, 3 on the unit and 3 on the trailer, and double tyres, and I pulled out the fish docks, you know, and it was clanking and groaning, and all the local residents stood at the first road island with the buckets in their hands, because when the trailers went round this island they used to lean and fish fresh mackerel, large fresh mackerel used to go over the top, excuse me. And approached the island, and I knew the vehicle was stable, all them bloody tyres, so approached the island a bit fast and spun the steering, and the trailer leaned right over, and a huge wave of fish went out of the side, and I heard them all shout, "Whee!" They're stocking all the freezers up. And Mick said, don't bring them back into the yard, because all this blood gets in the drains and it upsets all the local residents. Go straight up to either Hull or Aberdeen. And we all pulled in this long lay-by near Gloucester and got the little burners out and little frying pans. Of course we got hundreds of tons of fish, so somebody dropped the trailer and went down to the local supermarket and came back with some cans of drink, and we had a right picnic that night. We ate that much fish we felt sick. No, I better leave it at that, because this faulty camera is liable to stop any time, more later.